All right, Chubb. What's a regular day like for you out here?
Well, if the rain doesn't wake you up, I get up probably around 5ish and then start trying to go back to sleep because I probably didn't get to sleep until 2 or 3. After about like 9, I'll get up. I'll go over to the Wawa. Wawa started giving us free coffee. It's not free. I feel so bad for the workers at Wawa. They have to make so much extra coffee for homeless people now because the homeless and the junkies are taking advantage of it. But I go there and I get a cup of coffee. I'll steal a donut and I'll eat it. And that's my breakfast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Philadelphia and welcome to another video bringing you the real life stories of so many that are dealing with homelessness and living on the streets. According to the Philadelphia Office of Homeless Services, 18% of the city's homeless population is unsheltered and living in places unsuitable for human habitation.
I weigh about 138 right now, 140, somewhere around there. I mean, we eat, but not a lot. I mean, yesterday I had 2 pieces of cake all day. Um, the food that some people give us is bad. And I don't know if they realize it. There's some religious organizations that come and they give us like yogurt and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and things like that, and they're bad. I've gotten food poisoning 3 times. Let me tell you, in 30 degrees, when you're sleeping on the sidewalk with a sheet for a blanket and you're throwing your guts up, laying in your own vomit, it's terrible. I never in a million years thought that would happen to me. But food poisoning on the street, no bueno. Sucks.
What's up, man? Who am I speaking to today?
What's happening? William Demas. Everybody calls me Chubbs.
Chubbs, man. How
Call
you
me Billy.
feeling, man?
Feel pretty good, man. It didn't rain yet, so it's a good day.
Okay. And what's your current situation, Chubb?
You're looking at it. Actually, I got here this morning, and this used to belong to a cat named Chino, and he had it set up pretty nice. I knew him, and I was trying to sleep down the next way there, and I got told to move 3 times. I was trying to stay out of the rain, so I found a nice piece of cardboard, which was the most homeless thing I think I've ever said in my life. Was,
Okay.
geez, this is a really nice piece of cardboard.
How long you been out here on the streets?
Going on about 2 years. Um, I was in the shelter system for a little bit, and the funny thing about that is, when I first got in the shelter system, I asked some of the people I met on the street. I said, "Yo, man, why don't you get in the shelter? You know, you get a shower, you can get food." 100% of the people I talked to said I was in the shelter system. I'd rather be on the street. And now I know what they mean. You know, the shelter system is atrocious. It's terrible. So I chose to come back to the street. This is the first winter I spent on the streets of Philadelphia. It was terrible. It was freezing cold. I slept many nights without blankets in the rain. It's awful. But you keep moving, you keep going. I'm college educated. I'm starting my own business, waiting for my LLC. Kind of ended up out here, Um, everything's in a holding pattern, man. I got approved for housing, but that's a holding pattern too. I'm waiting for a match, whatever that means. So, like I said earlier, I was walking down trying to stay out of the rain. This thing was demolished, and I never done anything like this before in my life. And I said, you know what, man? I said it out loud to myself. I said, homeless people are resourceful. And I built this little thing to stay out of the rain. Within a half an hour of being asleep, police came and they said, you can stay here tonight, but get your personal items. Tomorrow, this thing's getting knocked down. So that's my current situation.
Okay. And where are you initially from?
I'm from South Philly.
Okay, born and raised in Philadelphia.
Born and raised in Philadelphia, 15 blocks that way.
Okay. And so I've heard about the shelter system, exactly what you said. Other people have I've done interviews with said the same exact thing. Whether it's the theft or just the treatment in those shelters, it's it doesn't have a good reputation.
You get treated like animals. Um, they skim off the top, big time. Food comes in, it goes right out the back door to the family and friends. We get moldy bagels, we get water, we don't get iced tea, cold food, old food. Um, it's cold. I'll give you an example. One time I had an infection and I had to go to the hospital. So I went down to the desk and I said, it was midnight, and our curfew's at 9:30. I said I have to call an ambulance. I have to go to the hospital. You're not going anywhere after midnight, Demas, right? They watched me get in the ambulance. Watched me. The hospital kept me overnight. The next morning I called because I knew there was going to be a problem. And I said, hi, this is William. I'm in the hospital. I want to let you guys know. Hospital? They put down that you left here after midnight without permission last night. They stripped your bed. That's the shelter system in Philadelphia.
And you end up losing your spot.
I ended up losing my spot.
Wow. So how many shelters have you been in?
3.
You're in 3 different ones?
3 different shelters.
Okay, and it all turned out some kind of way to be where you rather be out here, or you rather just take your chances somewhere else?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Now, you mentioned LLC, having a business before this happened. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, business ironically started out called the Soup Kitchen. If you go to my YouTube, Chubby Johnson, you can find the video there. It morphed into 215 Media Live. It's modeled after the City Paper. I'm a musician. I was a pretty famous funk drummer in Philadelphia in the 90s and the 2000s. And, if you wanted to find out what was going on or let people know what was going on in Philly, you would go to the City Paper or the Philadelphia Weekly. It's sort of like the Village Voice in New York. It's near and dear to my heart. So that was, the impetus to start the business. It sort of morphed into artist management, social media marketing. I sold software, and I'm pretty good at that. So I figured if I could make money for a CEO, I could do that for me as well, easily. It's based off of a collective idea. The motto is feed, create, feed. Everybody eats. Join the 215 family. We'll market and promote you. Put us up on your social media. We get to eat from that. It grows. Everybody eats. Everybody gets paid. So it's being out here and being dependent on everybody else. It really harkens to the ideology that I had back in the day when I was starting the business, because that's the idea behind it, man. Everybody take care of everybody else. We're all in this together, pretty much.
Okay, and so how did you go from having a business to ending up out here? Like, how did that transition happen?
Well, I moved in with some really shady, shitty people. Gossipy, catty, nefarious, manipulative transplants, scumbags. And, they tried to get me to play their game. For example, the one girl was, she tried to say that I was intimidating her. William, your voice is making me very uncomfortable in your presence. And she put me in a very awkward position. The woman's name was, I don't think I gave her a name. I'll act it out. William, your voice and your volume right now is making me very uncomfortable in your presence. I'm feeling very. She put me in an awkward position, especially because she was a woman, and we just met. I said, "Sweetie, I'm Italian." I said, if this makes you nuts, you come to Christmas dinner at my house, you'll be scared out of your mind. And she tried to put you in a position where you have to say you're sorry, things like that. They were all like that. They would talk about me in front of me, thinking I didn't understand what they were up to. Eventually, they worked together with the landlord. She was friends with the landlord, and the woman wanted my room. I paid $1,200 a month at the 3rd floor at a roof deck, a wine bar. It was dope. I had a walk-in closet like Kanye. It was sick. I wanted to take off living there. It was a really nice place. So they said that I stole the toaster oven. I threw flush clothes down the toilet to sabotage the house. I mean, really trite, obvious, slanderous stuff. I mean, if you want to come up with some better. So I fought in court. I said to the judge, hey, if I'm flushing my clothes down the toilet, Your Honor, where's the plumbing bill? He looked over at the landlord, where's the plumbing bill? The third court date was coming up. I was about to be told that I can stay. The judge said to them, you can't make them leave because you don't like them. They hid my mail. The landlord went to court. I got called a no-show and I got evicted. I spent everything I had fighting that court case, and I lost my job because of it. And here I am.
Oh wow. Okay, so after eviction, what was your next step?
Well, it wasn't everything I had. I had a couple $100 left. I stayed in hotels for about a week and a half. What was I thinking? Like, can't stay in hotels forever. Maxed out my credit cards. I just did it until I ran out of money. And looking back on it, I could have used that money to eat on the street. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. But I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it. Um, I'm a tough guy. I was like, if anybody could be homeless, it's my city. I know every nook and cranny of this city. I said, I'll be all right. But I know every nook and cranny of the city from not being homeless, from having a home. When you're homeless and you're up alleys and you're down the subway at midnight and you're walking the streets after hours, you're going to get your face broken, like I have in 8 places. You're going to get jumped. You're going to get robbed. I've had 8 phones stolen. Obama phones, government phones. Um, it sucks. That sucks. Finding food. I mean, the city's full of bounty. There's good people that will help you eat. Um, it's dangerous. It's very, very, very dangerous. That's the worst part.
Okay, and how long has it been since you've been like outside
I've
or
been outside on the streets since last July, and it's
okay, so going
April
on a
now.
year.
It's about a year.
Okay. And how have you been surviving? Like how have you been, getting food and things like that? Money.
Can I be honest with you?
Absolutely. If as honest as you would like.
All right. I started out playing bucket drum, the cats do in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and I wanted to give back to the people what I do. I'm a drummer. I don't beg. I don't steal. I'm a hypocrite about that, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I was playing down in Old City, and for the tourists and all, I was doing well. But I don't know what else to say. I don't want to look down the end of my nose at anybody. I don't know what other word to use. Junkies, zombies. They just started proliferating the area because they knew that there was money there. And in short time, I went from being guaranteed $40, $50 in a few hours to 8 in 3 hours off of 8 individual people because they came down there and they started beating people up for money. And the people got angry and they got frustrated and they stopped tipping me. So I stopped doing that. And, um, you know, you go to Wawa, take a couple monsters, bring them up to Kensington, you get $1 each for them. So that's how I eat. Not happy about it. Um, on Saturdays and Sundays, people come out and they bring us food. They'll cook for us up in Kensington. Not down here. Kensington is where you can go to eat, where you can go to get help. You can get wound care if you need it. Um, but yeah, that's about it. I depend on others. I'd love to go back to work, but the work I do is from home. I work on a computer, so it's hoping the housing goes through soon.
Okay, Chubb. So what's the hardest part about being out here for you?
Trench foot,
Trench foot.
trench
And
foot.
what is trench foot?
It's from walking around 18 hours a day. It's all we do is walk. It's what the fighters of Vietnam had. They kept them off the front lines. It's you sweat. You wear the same pair of socks every day for weeks, and you get white pruny sores on the soles of your feet. Sort of like if you've been in the pool for too long or you've been in the tub for too long, and they're excruciatingly painful. As you can see, I'm walking like an old man. I can't really take bigger steps. It hurts. That sucks because all we do is walk. Because if you sit down somewhere, somebody tells you to move. So we just don't sit down anywhere. You just walk constantly. I could say that I've walked from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight straight, non-stop, for days at a time. Absolutely 100% true. That's the worst part.
You mentioned you were a musician.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
I've been playing drums since I was 10 years old. My pops, my grandfather, turned me on to jazz when I was about 14. He played with Quincy Jones in the Navy. And turned me on to Billy Cobham, Steve Gadd, Joe Picaro. I was always listening to Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich, 8 tracks from him since I was 4. I went to the High School for the Creative Performing Arts. I'm the only person in the history of the school to get accepted for 3 majors. It takes a year to even wait to get an audition. I got accepted for 3 majors, man. I decided to go for art. My mom wanted me to go for art. I wanted to go for music. But I studied music privately my whole life. I started playing professionally at 14. And I played professionally my whole life. I supplemented the income from working in the restaurant business. I worked my way up. I became a chef. Did that for a lot of years. And you get on my legs, couldn't take it anymore. So I got into sales after that. I'm a good talker. But I played everywhere in Philadelphia, probably 30 times, man. Hosted open mic nights. Played with some of the baddest musicians, man. I played with Mos Def. I played with Jill Scott. Went to high school with the Roots.
Do you have any friends and family here in Philadelphia?
No.
No.
I have friends. I'm in my 40s, man. All my friends are married and got kids. And they don't want Uncle Billy sleeping on the couch every day. And I wouldn't do that to them anyway. You know what I mean? I don't want the kids to have to see that. They're trying to start families and things like that. I'm not going to be a burden. So I pretty much fell off the planet. I don't talk to anybody anymore. I'm out here, get a little emotional talking about it. Because I used to have a lot of friends. I used to play out. I'd be out in the city of Philadelphia, my city, every night. Man, if I wasn't working, I'd be out playing, doing something. I used to skate. I'd just be around, digging my city. Now I dig it from the inside out.
What's the treatment like from the people on the streets here in Philadelphia?
Because of the heroin problem, they think everybody is sticking needles in their neck. I don't know if it's the transplant. The gentrification of the city is staggering. I mean, they're firing up property like Legos, man. Butted up against the L, which makes me laugh because that was Skid Row back in the day. You don't want to live up against the L, man. Now you're getting $3,000 to hear the L ride by your window while you're trying to sleep. I don't get that. But hey, how you doing? Not even a reply. And I don't know how to say it. I don't think I look homeless, but I'll give you treatment. I got cuffed and slammed up against the window of the L yesterday. I was sitting on a bench, the same bench that I sat on when I wore a suit to work, and I wanted to take a load off before I went into work in the morning. Cop came up and said, "You got to go." Why? You got to go. Why? I said, "This is the same bench that I sat on when I worked upstairs." Him and his partner gripped me up, threw me up against the wall, purposefully slammed my forehead into the glass, bent my elbow up so bad that it hurt. I thought he was going to snap it. Cuffed me and told me I was under investigation for resembling somebody that they're looking for, which is bullshit because you would have said that first instead of telling me that I have to get up and leave. My wrists are still red from being cuffed. They sat there and embarrassed me in front of groups of people for an hour before letting me go. That's the treatment of the homeless in Philadelphia.
And for the record, you're not a user, you don't do drugs, you don't or you
No,
don't shoot,
I don't do drugs.
you don't drink. Do you drink?
I used to drink a lot. I stopped. Funnily enough, I wanted a beer. a couple weeks ago, and I said, I said I didn't even realize that I stopped. To be honest with you, it's funny. Subconsciously, I didn't even know. Um, my mom's old. She lives in a assisted living facility in Jersey. I went to her house for Thanksgiving, and she offered me a beer, and I said, "No, I don't feel like it." And her mouth hit the ground. She couldn't believe it. So, yeah, I'm just out here, man. So I want to get back to playing music. I want to get back to playing music. I want to get back to editing film. I want to get back to doing what I love. Can't do it from out here.
So, there wasn't an addiction that played a part in you being out here.
I smoke pot. I don't do any
Gotcha.
drugs. I used to do coke, man. But I mean, it's
That
not.
wasn't a part of you being out here. You got
I,
caught up with the
no,
addiction. And all right, and so what about trying to get a job? Have you tried to go that route?
it's difficult because you never know where you're going to be. You never know if you're going to sleep. You never know. We get what's called trench foot that they got in Vietnam. It's from walking for 18 hours every day, just walking. We just walk, 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 walk in the same pair of socks, and your feet sweat, and you get giant white pruny from being wet sores on the soles of your feet, and it is excruciating. I have it right now. And you take baby steps down the street. You can barely walk. It's difficult to walk, and you have to endure it until you get a fresh pair of socks. And then even that doesn't make it go away. You have to take your feet. You have to take your shoes and socks off and put your feet up for a couple of days. But you can't do that out here. So how am I going to work? I work from home. That's what I've been doing. That's what I need to do.
Okay, and what are the things that you're good at, as far
My
as
degrees
work
in
and talent wise?
my degrees in media theory from Temple University. Edit film and audio. I'm a musician. I play drums, piano, guitar, bass, saxophone, harmonica. Um, I write. I used to paint. I don't paint anymore. Again, three majors, Kappa. I have a genius IQ. It's 169, and I like to learn. I like knowledge. I like to do stuff. I like to do stuff that makes me happy. I like to give back to the people. A painter doesn't paint a painting to hang it in his living room. A writer doesn't write a book to put it in his library. We do these things to give it to the people, man. We're all closet hams and egotists and got hang-ups about making people happy with our work. And I just need to get back to doing that.
Okay, so if anybody that may see this and want to reach out to you, or any inquiries that might want to use your talent, is there a way that they can reach you?
Email me. Uh, my name is William Demas, DEM as in Mary, AS as in Sam, 215 at Gmail. That email gets locked up once in a while because I can't afford to keep the storage open. Chubby Johnson, 215, CHUBBYJOHNSON 215 at Gmail.
Okay, I'll be sure to pin it on a video, and maybe somebody can see this and reach out. You never know.
You can go to Chubby Johnson's YouTube page, man. There's some of my works up there.
Oh wait, what's your YouTube?
YouTube is Chubby Johnson.
Chubby Johnson. Got you. Got
Yeah,
you.
it's not. I don't do much caretaking of it anymore. But I mean, there's some of my work up there. There's some music, some of me playing, some music I've written, some art, some videos that I've done. You can check it out.
Got you. What advice would you give to anybody out there so they won't go through a situation like this?
Be careful who you move in with. I haven't had roommates until then. And it's out here. Keep your head up. It's not good. It's not the end of the world. I'm getting emotional talking about it, but it's not the end of the world. Life is good. People are good. Everybody doesn't suck. It's just a situation, and they're looking at us that way because of the way we are. But you'll get back. Just keep your head up, like me. You're talented. You're good. You'll get it back. I promise you. You go to work. Go find a caseworker. Find somebody who can help you get your life back. And then it's just a waiting game.
Absolutely. All right, Chubbs, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing your story. Appreciate you, and we'll stay in touch. And anything that you want to say to anybody out there that may see this?
I wish I didn't end it like that. Cheers. Cheers.
Gotcha.